No, I wasn't drafted. I volunteered when I was 18. But I had to get permission from my parents. And then I had to go to Dallas with the people that was drafted. For when I volunteered, that somebody else got to stay home till the next time. And in other words, they used me to fill their draft quota. 1943. Well, actually, it started in 42 after I was 18 and 42, and then it was probably nearly a year before I got into the Army. Really, I don't know. That's something stupid, I guess. But I just wanted to be part of it, I guess. I'm the only answer I've got for it. There was 5 of us boys in the family, and they all of us went, and I was last one to go, because I was youngest. No, they were already in. There were a couple of them already in the Army before they ever started the drill. And then the other ones, the other 2, they was in the National Guard. And then they mobilized the National Guard, and that put all 4 of them in the service then. There was 4 of us served in Europe, because they was already in.
Your brothers were already there.
But I guess it worked. And I was youngest, and they all tell me what not to do and what I could do and stuff. But that didn't work either. Camp Swift, Texas, that's about 60 miles east of Austin. It's a little town by Bastrop, Texas. Let's see, I went over in November of 43, I guess it was. Went to England. I spent 9 months in England. You probably never heard of the TAC Training Center. It's a obstacle course that my unit built it and operated for 9 months, and everybody that made the invasion had to go through it before the invasion. So we got to watch them tear it up so we could rebuild it. I rated that one. Do as I say.
Yeah, but what were you, a corporal, sergeant, or general, or
PFC.
Private first class.
private first class?
I did before I got out of there, after demolition mostly. Well, let's see, I landed on Omaha Beach at 6:32 a.m. That's pretty early. I couldn't get up time right now. Demolition work. No, there was 5 exits. I'm talking about way of you driving a vehicle off the beach. There's 5 of them, but they had them all blocked off to where you couldn't get through them. And our job, there was 13 of us, and we were all 19 years old. That was one of the qualifications. You had to be 19 to be in that group. But I told them whenever they was picking us out for it, I didn't know nothing about demolition. They says, yeah, we know that. That's the reason we were picking you. Just because you don't know nothing about it, we're going to train you. So they did. They took 13 enlisted men and 1 officer and made a team out of it. And on exit 1, it had 12 or 14, I forget what, I think it's 12 highline poles cemented where trucks or tanks couldn't go up it to keep us off the pit station and stuff. And so anyway, our job was to blow those 12 or 13 poles up on exit 1 or we'd get vehicles off of it, off the beach. And there was 3 or 4 out of the 13 that got killed, and the rest of us, just about all of us got wounded. But we did blow the poles down, get them out of the way. There was 13 of us. Yes, they were too. Come think of it. It was what they called a boat crew 10. That was they were designated as group 10 or boat 10. I think it was 4 or 5 died, and every one of the other guys was wounded, including myself.
He got Purple Heart for being shot. He got shot that day in his leg, and I think they gave him Purple Heart for that injury.
Trying to think. That's been a long time ago.
Yeah, his pickup license say Purple Heart on it. It's good.
I don't.
He didn't hear what you said. Say it again.
She asked what I was doing when I got wounded. I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but what I was supposed to be doing, I remember. You'd have to understand this. To do that, you see, we was only allotted so many, 22 seconds. At the time they give us to blow that up on our schedule, and I was what they call a rain man. I took a spool of primer cord and I run around that whole bunch and came back to where I started and laid that primer cord down. And each one of them other guys had a package of explosive, and each one of them had a post to put their explosive on. And that explosive was it's tall, and it's kind of like jelly farm stuff, and kind of like crazy putty. And we put it in the socks. We had packed an old sock full of that. We put a primer cord in it, and that cord that we put in that sock, all they had to do is wrap it around the cord that I put around the post, and all time that way they'd all blow up at the same time. And that's old in the socks. We put a rock and tow them and made a knot to tie a piece of wire around it. And the top of it was tied a knot in the sock after we got it filled up, and they tied that sock in around each post, and that little primer cord that came out of that sock, we wrapped it around this main cord so when we pulled a fuse on the main cord, it blew all of them up. And we had, after we got tied on there, before we set it off, we walked 17 steps before we pulled a fuse on that thing. But the other guys that put their socks on, when they put the socks on, with the officer that was with us, he is the one that put the fuse in the primer cord that I put around it, and he watched his watch. It was supposed to go off for a certain time, and whenever he dropped his hand, I pulled this little old thing out, and that set it off. And we took 17 steps and laid down. And when the thing exploded and went off, it blew everything over us when we were laying on. Only thing is, some of it fell pretty close to us, but it didn't know it get hurt. It worked. Yeah, we were under a lot of fire the whole time we were there. Of course, we was up close to where the Fed station was going, where we did this at, and they were mostly shooting at people that was landing on the beach down below us. They was, let's see, I think it was 18 or 19 landing craft full of riflemen that had landed in the first wave, and then our boat came in behind them. Then behind us, at 6:33, there was 17 boats of demolition people to blow those obstacles up. That was on the beach, and so it got pretty crowded down close to the water's edge. With most of them were died. There was 3,600 something died that morning on the beach. Yeah, I always thought that. I knew I was going to come back. There's a lot of them had the attitude they weren't coming back, and they didn't. I shot in the leg. I don't know where I shot or where it was shrapnel. It hit it, but it went in my leg, and I've still got it in my leg. They said they couldn't take it out without cutting through the muscle of my leg, and I could lose use of the leg if they did that. So they suggested that we leave it in there. And they did. It's worked okay. I haven't had any problems. You know, I think you just did things automatically. You didn't, you really weren't allowed to think. You didn't have time to think. You just tried to stay alive, I guess, most of the time. But I don't know, there's so much going on you couldn't comprehend what was going on. Everybody had their own thing to do, and that's what they were trying to do. And no, we never did, we never got back together after the invasion. I guess it was 2 or 3 days before we became a unit of our own, and we got back to where we were before that started, but there was about 2 or 3 days in there that we just little groups put up by yourself, and you worked. You would give special training for about 2 or 3 weeks. Like we'd get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, we'd go blow some of them poles up down on the coast of England, just to learn how to do it, or so. And we had to do it several times. We got to where from the time we got to the obstacles till we had to blow up, it's like we could do it in 22 seconds. That ain't very quick, that ain't very long. But of course we had everything all ready to go whenever we got there. It was just a matter of putting it on, and each pole had its own man, and that one man could do all that in that length of time. And it was 22 seconds from the time we got to the pole till we had it blowed up. I was on there about 7 or 8 hours. I don't remember the exact time, but after I got wounded, they got me off the beach pretty quick after I got wounded. Every time they bring in a load of troops and take them off, they'd fill them, that's his same boat, landing craft. They would put wounded people back on it, and they'd go back out in the channel to that hospital ship, and they would unload us off in the landing craft back onto the hospital ship. I think I've got sometime in the afternoon, probably from 6 in the morning or 6:32 to probably around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They took me off then. The most interesting thing, I guess, about that beach, I've had a lot of people to ask me about the private line, if it was about the same thing, if that was anything. But the thing that I remembered about that is the odor that was coming off that beach. You know, the ocean has its own odor, and then we had gunpowder. One breath of air, you could smell gunpowder. Maybe the next breath, you could smell hair burning, or different odors. I remember that more than anything else, I think. And I don't know why, but I do.
Tell her how you met your brother.
Well, that wasn't on the beach, that was later.
That was later? Okay, I'll stay out of it.
The news that we had landed, I seen it the next morning. When I got to, they got me into that hospital ship, and when they got it filled up, well, it took us back to England. And they put me in the hospital in England. It was a tent, a big old long circus tent of a thing. And that was an evacuation hospital there. And I went into it, and I woke up in it that morning, the next morning. And I read in the paper where we, in the Stars and Stripes, a little military newspaper that they had over there, where we had accomplished our mission, the engineers. And that's the first news I've ever heard that, in other words, we got on the beaches. Well, I felt pretty good about it, I guess. I don't know. I was staying in the hospital, I guess, from then till it's probably about the last of July. And they took me out. When I got out of the hospital there, I went back to a rehab center, stayed there a couple of weeks, and started recuperating, retiring, I guess you'd call it. Then they sent me back to England. And I rejoined the same unit that I came out of. And then we had to go through the hedgerows of Normandy. That was pretty exciting. No, I never did come back to States after the war, so I went back to all these demolition teams that they'd fixed up to clear up a big, they all came back to the same organization. There was 771 in that battalion. As of today, there's three of us left. Yeah, I went back to the same unit I was in, 146th Engineer Battalion. Well, it was wet, it was cold. We went in the water over our heads when we came out of the landing craft. There was a bomb that landed, and it blew a hole in the bottom of the sea. And when we went out, we would have been okay if we could have landed somewhere else where we hit bottom at, and they let the ramp down. When we went off that ramp, we went in that hole of water. It was about 7 or 8 foot deep. We went in over our heads.
Is that when somebody saved your life by taking them?
Yeah. I went down to bottom twice, and I came up. And when I went down the second time, I put all my equipment. It weighed more than I did. When I got out of it, then I came up, and there was a guy. We had a rubber boat raft thing that we'd pulled out of the landing craft. It had 600 pounds of explosives in it. and we drug that thing out into the water. And they were floating head in when I came up at the last time, and a guy got a hold of my helmet, pulled me up out of the water. I don't think I'd have gone down and come up again, but I got lucky. I never did know who did it till we had a reunion, and I was wounded again in Osnabrück, Germany. That's a little town, bigger than Whitesboro, I guess. And that was in November of the same year, 44, I guess. I was in the hospital, I think, about 3 months before I got back to the outfit. Oh, mostly working German prisoners of war, cleaning up stuff that we'd tore up. I remember cleaning up a whole slaughterhouse where they slaughtered cows for beef, and we had bombed it, killed a bunch of cows and them overhead cows. We had trucks in there loading stuff up. Prisoners of war, we was using them to clean them places up, and we'd haul that off and dump it somewhere. We did that for a while, and then they started rotating us home. No, I spent some time in Austria, went from Czechoslovakia to Blue Danube River in Austria. I spent 2 or 3 weeks down there, and then they started putting us in groups to come home. How was I in Germany? It wasn't bad. We did a lot of traveling in Germany. We was on the move nearly all the time. So they were pretty well give up by the end. The time we got into Germany, and they was on the run, and we just chased them down.
What were you doing when you got shot in the leg?
What was that? Well, I was really shooting at something.
Yeah?
No, I was blowing up popsicles.
He's blowing up that stuff, and he got shot in his leg.
Yeah. When I got shot in the foot, we were in a little town of Osnabrück, Germany. We was trying to get them out of some of the building, and they was trying to keep us out. So we was just having a good time, killing each other. Yeah, you get them little towns like that. You had to. I spent part of one night in an old church in Osnabrück, Germany. It's a 2-story building, and we was upstairs, and the Germans were downstairs. We spent the night, and of course the tank come in there the next morning and shut the thing up. We had to come out. Yeah. That was in Osnabrück. I got shot in the foot. It's on the border of Germany and Belgium.
Okay.
Well, we was getting them out of the town. We wanted the town. I don't know what we was going to do with it. It was on the road. You had to go through this little town to get to the Ruhr River Dam, and they wanted that town so they'd keep Germany away from them. That dam, they scared them out of the dam up and drowned everybody down below. And So the reason we was trying to get that town away from them, so they couldn't get to that dam. The unit had crossed the Rhine River when I caught up with them the last time I got wounded.
Okay.
But I went back to the same unit. They always sent you back to where you came from. They might be 100 miles from where you left, but they always get you back to where you belong. Till May no, I don't know, it was probably April we went out of Germany. We went through Germany into Czechoslovakia. So I guess we weren't in Germany very long. Of course, everybody was telling everybody, and or asking us if we knew it, and all that stuff. It's kind of grapevine talk. You didn't know where it's truth or not. Just had to wait and see. Oh, it's sometime during the day. I don't know. It's one of the things where it kind of goes in one ear and out the other one. You don't, you could hear all kinds of rumors every day, but they were just rumors. Like we were across the Rhine River and all that thing, and hadn't even got close to it yet. And, I don't know, I got used to being that. I don't know, it's kind of exciting, I guess, to know they were quit shooting. No, it's just kind of word of mouth. Just one guy to another and come along and say, have you heard they surrendered or something like that? There was no celebration or anything. We celebrated every time they found something to run. Yeah, they had good beer and cognac, stuff like that. France had lots of good wine.
Yeah, they still do, don't they?
Yeah, they
That's what they do.
Wine.
Tell her about meeting your brother. This is very interesting.
Yeah, I met
It's not
him.
part of the war, but it's it's a personal thing.
I met him in the hedgerows of France. I found out too that when I was landing on Omaha Beach, he was landing on Utah Beach, which are close together. And but I didn't know that at the time. And after we got into hedgerows, I found him just by accident, nearly. And I got seeing units, Jeeps with his units, numbers on the bumpers of them, and I knew then that he would be around close. So I went to my company commander and told him that I had a brother and I'd like to find him. And he said, well, we've got 2 hours, we were going to be here. But says, I'll give you a Jeep and a driver, and you got to be back here within 2 hours. But then I found him, we did, just real quick after that. And he was in the artillery, and they were firing off guns. He had 5 guns. He was gun sergeant over them. And when we found him, he was laying down on his stomach talking to one of those low Piper Cub airplanes. And he was laying on his stomach, and I walked up behind him and kicked him on the bottom of the foot. He turned around and looked at me, and then turned around and started talking again. All at once the phone fell out of his hand, and he looked around, he got up and he says, what the hell are you doing here? I told him I was doing the same thing he was, just told me I needed to be here. But we had a good visit. Of course, it didn't last long. I had to go back, but I never did see him again till after the war was over. That's when he told me he landed on Utah Beach when I was landing on Omaha. So that's the only one I've seen overseas. There was 4 of us in England at one time, but back then there's so much secrecy that you didn't know. You could be in the same country as one of your brothers and you'd never know it, because you weren't allowed to tell me what you were at.
Probably that you survived it all.
Yeah.
Put their life on the line every day. Being in the military, you don't, it's like you said, boy, you don't find out. They don't tell you nothing. They just send you to do. But I guess that'd be an afterthought had he made it.
Oh, I'm glad I got to do it. But I wasn't going to do it over. But I'm glad I got to do it. And I was in a bunch with a great bunch of guys. They were real nice, bunch of boys. Yeah, I'd been out for a while. Let's see, if I went to the hospital on June the 6th. And I seen him about the last part of July, I guess it was. I've been out probably for 6 weeks when I met him. He's in France. We regrouped and became a battalion again. During the invasion, we were split up and made into demolition teams. But when we got back on the beach, we went back into being a unit again. Oh, I guess I'm pretty excited about, being alive after all of that. Out of the 771 of us, to be on the last 3, be one of the last 3, that's pretty remarkable, you know it? And I guess I'm the only one that's able to get up and walk around. There's one of the guys that's out of the 3 is been in a rest home in Dallas for about 6 or 7 years. And then another one that lives in Cloud, Oklahoma, he's deaf, can't hear a thing in the world. And he says he hurts all the time, he wished he could die. I haven't got to that point where I wish I could die yet. I may someday. I'll be 96 in August, 20th of August. What did I do? Well, I don't know. When I first got out, me and some of my friends, I guess we was trying to close them beer joints across the river. Drink them dry, I guess. But we fairly figured out we wasn't going to do that. So. We finally got a job, went to work.
When did you work out at the state school? That later?
Oh yeah, that's quite
That was
a bit
later.
Yeah. I didn't go out there till 1970. I went to the state school.
That was quite an experience too, working out there.
Yeah.
I imagine so.
It's scary. Yeah. Breaks your heart to see those kids like that.
Yeah, I was born in Ralston, Texas. Yeah, I retired from the Army as fast as I could. Oh, the first thing I did Well, the first thing I did is got off that jug boat. I've been on it for 9 days. I wanted to see something besides water. We unloaded in Camp. Oh, I can't remember that. It's in New York. We unloaded.
Statue of Liberty, you see.
Yeah.
I'll talk about when they come back and see the Statue of Liberty.